Hello everyone, this is Spiritual Seer Mahano,
And this is Melody.
and today is going to be another broadcast video, and today's video is going to be about Djinns and connecting with them, as well as my experience with Djinns. Now I know a lot of people don't know a lot about Djinns, so I have a little bit of information I'm going to share about Djinns, and then I'm going to have my wife share a little bit of information that she has about Djinns. So here we go. Djinns are magical beings. Whereas most mortals were formed by the Creator from earth mixed with other elements, Djinns were formed from smoke and fire. In the distant past, the different tribes of Djinn had a lot of interaction with mortals. The world, the world of the Djinn is an independent and separate world, with its own distinct nature and features that are hidden from the world of humans. Djinn and humans have a lot in common, such as the ability to understand and choose between good and evil, the ability to bear children and have spouses. They could be royalty or a celebrity just as easily as a common Djinn. They are also known by many other names. With that said, I believe my wife has a little bit of information she wants to share with you guys right before I get into my experiences that I've shared with Djinns over the past year or so, as well as I have connected with Djinns both through channeling sessions as well as a spirit board that I have. And I have received many messages from them, and all the messages I received were good. None of it was negatives. I actually have Djinns that come to me for help in astral. I've had help Djinns out during astral travels. So I will get to more of that in a second.
So I just have a bit of information about Djinns in general in regards to the history. So basically, Djinns are thought to appear as mists, sometimes in sandstorms, as shadows, and they are thought to be able to materialize in different forms. And they could take the shape of both animals as well as humans. And I'm not going to go in depth into the folklore around Djinns, but I'm just going to say a bit of information before he gets in depth into his experiences, just in case any of you aren't really sure what Djinns are. Um, Djinns are mainly in Islamic type of mythologies and such, but the idea of Djinns is not just from Muslim type of lore. There is a lot of comparative mythology when it comes to Djinns. Now, for example, in Judaism, I'm not sure if I'm going to say these names right, but I'm going to pronounce them as best as I can. So, Shedim is one of several supernatural creatures in Jewish mythology, resembling the Islamic concept of jinns. Both are said to be invisible to the human eye, but are subject to bodily desires such as procreating and the need to eat, and some are good as well as bad, malevolent and benevolent. So in Buddhism, similar to the Islamic idea of spiritual entities, converting to one's religion can be found on Buddhism lore. According to Buddha, preached among humans and Deva, spiritual entities who are like human, subject to the cycle of life. And in Christian lore, in Christian mythology, there is the fallen angels, the demons, and throughout various different areas there are talks of the fairy realms, fairies being both good and bad, having positive and negative aspects. They can be helpful to you, but they can also hinder you, you know? That is what fairy lore is about. And fairies are mythological entities, just like djinns are people consider as mythological entities, but there are various people around who believe in them just as much as they believe in gods and goddesses. So the idea of fairies being sort of in another dimensional space, you can't necessarily see them, but they are there. And fairies can manifest as physical. They can show up physical if they want to, you know. And fairies can be both good and bad. It's very similar, you know. It's very reminiscent of djinns. And Dwayne and I are two individuals who believe that different mythologies and different tales, they can kind of link back to one another. And so that's why I wanted to bring that up, because it's djinns are seen as very negative sometimes, you know, just like demons, just like fairies, but they're not always negative. And that's basically all that I have. I'm gonna give it back to him.
All right. So, what I want to talk about is my the first time connecting with a Djinn was, I think it was late 2016. Either way, my first connection with a Djinn happened during an astral travel event that I vaguely remember, but with the help of my spirit guides, they helped me remember all of it, and I helped save a female Djinn by the name of Silva. And by helping her, she basically followed me back home, and she stuck around here, and I did not know. And the only way I found out was I used to have very bad anger problems, but at the time that I worked on my anger and I could control it, around that time I started to notice that when I got angry, even at the smallest thing, it's like my anger would intense by a lot, and I didn't know why. I'm thinking I just learned to control my anger. Like, why is this happening? And come find out from me talking with my spirit guides, it was due to Silva. Once I helped her out, I like saved her during the astral travel, and she came back with me acting as my protector, and I didn't know. So whenever I got angry, she would step in to like help protect me, and with her energy would like intense my anger to a level that where sometimes like I would get so angry that I felt numb, and I haven't really felt that in like years being to that point because I worked so much with helping control my anger. So, once I figured out what was going on, I connected with her through my spirit board, and I talked with her. I got information on her and everything. And the information that I received was she was trapped somewhere, and somehow I astral there and saved her. So she came back with me as a protector in return. And that was my first experience with the Djinn. Excuse me. So I believe my second experience with some Djinns, and I said Djinns, not one. It was a group of Djinns, and I had met them through astral traveling. Right up the road from where we lived, there's this forest, and they were all gathered in this forest. That's where they resided. But they were opening portals, working. But every time they opened a portal, it was causing accidents on the road, and they didn't realize that. So in in my astral travel, what I did was go there and explain to them what was going on and how they needed to move somewhere else, but they didn't know where else to go. So, um, in a beach town, maybe 15, 20 minutes away from where we live, is a place called Lewis, and they have a state park. It's called Cape Elopement State Park. There's a trail that my wife and I found, and using astral projection, I went and got them and escorted them there to that state park, but off the beaten path from this trail, where there's a lot of marshy area and stuff in. And there's still a small trail that you could walk, but a lot of people don't frequent that area. Only people with like animals and stuff, they might walk their dogs or whatever out there to use the bathroom or whatever, but not a lot of people walk that path, so I guided them to that area. And till this day, I'm still in contact with them. That was my second experience with some Djinns. And another experience with a Djinn was um, a Djinn by the name of Nomad. And I can't remember the full story on him because I've helped out a lot of Djinns through astral travel, but I met him through astral travel. And I think what it was, I believe we were on a mission together. Or I met him while I was doing some type of mission in astral. And I helped him out. And because of that, he came back with me again like Silva did and kind of act as like a protector for me. And doing another astral event, I met a family of Djinns. It was a male, his wife, and children. I helped save them because they were stuck in on somebody's land. They were stuck and didn't know how to leave, so I helped them out, and they are here with us as well. Because my wife and I, we're on this spiritual mission through life right now. We're on this spiritual journey, and these Djinns that has stuck around are here helping us along our spiritual path. You know, they help us out with rituals and spells and stuff like that, and they help us out with enchantments. Yeah, like they're like spirit workers, but they're all good, and we're good. You know what I mean? Because we help people with spells and rituals and stuff like that we sell. And so we don't get drained doing all these spells and rituals ourselves. They step in and help us with them, which is good. But there's quite a few more Djinns that I've come in contact with, mostly, like I said, through my astral travel experiences. Some we actually used a ritual to help free a lot of Djinns and other entities from being trapped in like haunted items. You know, we went as far as like we feel like that's fucked up. They shouldn't be trapped to be used for bad or whatever. They shouldn't be trapped. If you want to call on them, ask them for help. Don't trap them in these supposed to be haunted or possessed items like rings, books, or whatever. Jewelry, mostly jewelry. Um, we found out there was a lot of people out there and trapping them.
Yes,
So,
like make the ring, like if you wanted to, there are ways around if you wanted to be a spirit keeper. And that's actually a video that will probably be on this channel in the future. So, if you like this format, subscribe to this channel. But if you are interested in being a spirit keeper and working with various spirits, there are ways around encaging and enslaving a spirit in an item. You can make the item sort of like a portal connection, a connection between you and that individual spirit. It works just as well, but the spirit is free to do what it wants, like if it wants to go explore, because you, as a spirit, would you want to be bottled up inside of a ring, for example, or a pendant or a stone? You probably wouldn't. But a lot of these entities want to help humanity. They want to befriend humanity, but they get kind of the shit end of the stick with um, those who want to kind of like enslave them.
Yeah, so I know I just mentioned that we have some Djinns here, but they chose to stick. We didn't ask them to stay. They chose to stay as like a thank you for me helping them. And what my wife and I call them is our spirit family. Like, 'cause they're here with us just like our spirit guides are. And we're not holding them here. They're free to leave whenever they want. But the thing is, they're choosing to be here because they choose to help us out with our spiritual mission. And I respect that from them. But every time one shows up, because I help them or whatever the case is, I always let them know, like, you know, I appreciate you coming, and you're welcome for my help, but you don't have to stay. You can leave, come back whenever you want, but it's just so much. They have just so much respect because they've been wronged by humans so much that they don't trust humans. But to have a human actually help them changes their mind. Like, I helped out a whole group of Djinns by myself. I visited them in astral by myself. That could have been dangerous for me, because my cord could have been cut and I probably couldn't have made it back to my body if, something had happened bad with them, but nothing bad happened. They listened to what I had to say. They trusted that I would find them a better place to go, and I did that, and they loved the area. It's a big open expanse. They're not going to cause any accidents or problem with any humans out there because it's quiet out there in that park, and not a lot of people take that path to where I took them to. So they're happy, and as payback, they come visit us, my wife and I, or if we're working on a ritual or a spell or something, if we need help from Djinns, or we sell enchanted items, if somebody buy ones and wants it enchanted with like Djinn energy or something, I can ask somebody in that group of Djinns that I helped instead of asking the ones that stick here with me because I don't want to use up all their energy, you know? So,
Nomad who traps the pen.
yeah, Nomad, I found some information that we had wrote down. I'm going to share some about Nomad. I just mentioned him. I gotta try to find a flashlight on my phone. Give me a second. Okay, Nomad. He was trapped in a pen. A human used him to get messages through the pen. It was a human couple. They were psychic, but they weren't good. And besides him, the information he gave us was that that couple had five other entities, which one was another Djinn, two were human children trapped in dolls, and then there was another Djinn trapped in a book. And there was another entity, one female in a ring and a male in a necklace. All those this people had these people had all these entities trapped in all these different things. And with Nomad was so grateful that I helped him that he actually wanted me to go back and help him free those other entities, and I did. I helped him free those other entities from those people. But the thing is, like he said, these people were psychics, and they were using him to get the messages through. Probably the messages that they were giving to people, but they were using him for bad, which that isn't good. I mean, I didn't know none of this information until he told me how it was I helped him. I helped free him from a pen. So can you imagine, like, were was this psychic couple true? Were they real, or did I feel like no, maybe they didn't know the information they were giving to people. That's why they used him. But as I was saying before, like nobody's held here against their will. They're free to go. But as I said, the ones that choose to stay, they choose to stay with us to help us out with our spiritual um journey, our spiritual path. And they do a lot of good. You know, one Djinn recently helped us with a client who needed help. You know what I mean? Um, there's a client who I had the Djinn enchant a Lego minifigure to send to her son for protection. You know what I mean? Because the Lego minifigure looked like a little Djinn, and I had the Djinn enchant that with Djinn energy to help him with protection, and it's working perfectly. You know, because the client's son, he loves Legos. He loves minifigures. I collect Legos. I had a bunch of extra minifigures just laying around, and I found one that reminded me of a Djinn, and boom, I asked the Djinns for help, and they were like, sure, we'll help. So a lot of people think Djinns are nothing but evil, but that's because they've been used for evil, but they also have been treated like wrong by humans. As humans, we treated them like they were evil. You know, we done bad things to them, and that's why they don't trust humans. But to have Djinns now who have been saved and helped by humans, they're slowly starting to gain respect for humans. And with that being said, like a lot more humans now can call on Djinns for good. They are very good beings, you know. They may come from fire and smoke, and if you hear an entity or a being coming from fire and smoke, you automatically think evil. But that's that's wrong. That comes from what you learned growing up.
We're still here.
Yeah, we're still here. So, I believe my wife has some information she wants to tell you guys.
This was just another bit of a spirit interview that we did with another Djinn, Sonrx. Um, and is a hybrid Djinn. Um, he categorized himself as a Djinn demon, and he said he loves the cold. It freshens him, and he came from the Setocox. I'm not sure how to say that, but which is a Djinn realm, and he said it's like a dense forest slash city, and it's connected to the elemental realms. Um, and he gave a bit of information about himself. He says that he knew Nomad, the other Djinn that we helped, which was like his brother, and then he gave a bit of a message, which we have never shared this message because it just wasn't time yet. But he gave a bit of a message. He says, and this can be seen as a global message, as your world seems to be falling into pieces, your world, meaning Earth, our civilization, know that brighter days will come. Humanity is capable of good and of so much more. And this is what your species is being led to. The that's what he said. And I think that's a really nice message for a Jinn who is seen as something who is not good. I think that's something good for a Jinn to say.
Yeah, exactly. See, um, I know a lot of people might be afraid to channel and stuff like that, but I would say the best way to channel or use a spirit board will be through the help of your spirit guides, but you gotta make sure that you connect with your spirit guides. You know who they are. You get as much information about your spirit guides as you can, and then use them to help you connect with these other entities. Because if it wasn't for my spirit guides, I wouldn't be able to connect with Silva and all of the other gens. You know what I mean? So, um, But that message from that one Djinn just proves that how much they're starting to trust humans now, even though they've been treated so poorly by us. So I just want to say, give them a chance. A lot of people see them as evil, but they're not. The- yeah, not all of them. I just think that some of them could be evil. Some of them may never trust humans at all, and I don't blame them. You know, but a lot of them are nice, good beings, and they just want to help out humanity, just like the Galactic Federation of Light does. I mean, we're in contact with the Galactic Federation of Light, and Nomad just recently gave me the update that he has been accepted into the Galactic Federation family. So Nomad is, you know, not just a Djinn now, but he's part of the Galactic family. He has that energy that the Galactics have, which is good for him. He can go out and help the Galactics now on missions and stuff of what they do, and I think that's something big for to have a Djinn who I'm in contact with give me such good news, because I feel like he probably wouldn't have had that opportunity and chance if I didn't come across him and help save him from that pen, you know? So, yeah, um, that's all the information I got about Djinns right now. That's all my experiences I've had so far with Djinns. And if y'all have any questions about Djinns or any messages y'all feel like you want from Djinns, just leave it in the comment section below. And if you haven't subscribed, subscribe. If you watch this video and like it, hit thumbs up. If you watch it and don't like it, hit thumbs down. I don't care. But also a quick update. My wife and I are gonna start making and selling little dolls on our Bonanza shop, and we have a prototype that we made. It's a little Djinn doll. If y'all can see the face, she just put it in the screen right now. It's a little um, prototype that we worked on. It's a little Djinn doll. We're gonna try to work on more, and we'll try to make another Djinn doll for anybody who's interested in Djinn energy and would like to have one for themselves for protection or something like that. So yeah, you can go check out our Bonanza shop. That link could be below. And like I said, if you have any questions, submit them below. If you have any messages, submit them, and I'll try to get them answered for you. So, thank you for viewing, and have a great new year. And until my next video, peace, light, cosmic love.